been a while since I've recorded any music, so when I heard Paul David's solo collaboration video recently, I thought I'd record a solo on his backing track, and that could be fun, and it was. And I highly recommend you checking out his video. Some amazing solos there. I'll put a link in the description. So we've got a solo up next, and then after that we'll be talking about, what will it be? Staying engaged with what you're doing. Enjoy. I was just talking to someone about my first experience with Kathy Madden, who's one of my favorite Alexander Technique teachers. It was in a group class, and the typical group class format involves people taking it in turns to choose a question or choose an activity that they would like to explore. It could be walking, reaching, bending, playing an instrument, singing, anything. And in this particular class, I put my hand up and I wasn't sure what to explore, so I just suggested standing up from sitting in the chair. And Kathy said, "What do you want to stand up to do?" And we went ahead and had a lesson, which was really quite eye-opening for me, but I'm going to cut the story off there, because that question has turned out to be quite significant. What is it that you want to do when you stand up? Or why do you want to do that particular action? What is the real world application of that? Now, this is quite significant for anyone who practices, if you're a musician or an actor or dancer, or anyone who practices doing something, and this is probably everyone in the world. Are you practicing in a way where you're just going through the motions? Or are you including your whole self in the activity? So let's explore this. Let's play around with head movements. So your head can move in three basic ways. We can nod, so just play around with that nodding action, like you're saying yes. Got rotation, so you rotate your head like you're saying no, and we've got tilting from side to side. So nodding, rotating, tilting side to side. Now we're going to explore the same movements, but we're going to think about it in a different way. Just look at something wherever you are. Just kind of look around at things in the space that you're in. Hopefully, even if you're interested in the things, that will help. You know? I'm outside, so there's a lot of interesting things to explore. So what did you find? We've got the doing the movement for the movement's sake. I'm exploring this action. And we've got the possibility of the real world. Oh, I'm just looking around the space. And of course, when I look around, the movements are included within that. So I don't know about you, I found that I was a bit stiff when I was thinking about the action. But when I had something real to do. I'm interested in seeing these things in the space. It became much more free. It's more coordinated. So consider the significance of that to when you're playing an instrument. We're going to explore that. First of all, let's apply this to walking. So first of all, just walk freely around the space that you're in. And now let's play around with that. What if you see something that you're interested in and walk towards that? Generally, there's more purposefulness in the walk when you're walking towards a particular thing, which makes sense. Often it gets faster, the steps get larger. Not necessarily, but often. There's an aliveness to it. It's not just going through the motion of walking, it's I'm going over there, I'm interested in that. So there's this inclusion of whole self, this inclusion of purpose, this inclusion of engagement and interest and curiosity. So what would it be like to include that in your practice? So choose a pattern, an exercise, some little fragment of music that you can apply this idea to. It could be a single note if you want. So play the thing. You might hit pause and play your idea. When you've done that, you might consider what do you actually want from the exercise. And depending on what you're wanting, you can come up with a different way of creatively engaging with it. If you're wanting to explore connection with the audience, if I coordinate myself so that I can invite you to be with me as I'm here with you, let's see what that's like. So my experience of that is it was more considered. You notice there was a pause at the beginning of what I did. It suddenly became a performance as opposed to just going through the motions. Let's say that the point of this is that I want to warm up. I want to warm up so I'm ready to move on to something else in my practice. So I'm going to listen to the sound bouncing off the walls as a first step. So that was different again, different experience. Again, more considered. I was more engaged with what I was doing. And we can take it a step further. But as I hear the notes bouncing around the room, each vibration in sound brings a light vibration. I know I'm getting kind of woo-woo here, but it's just having some creative idea to explore this. So each note brings about some light, just like I'm waking up in the morning to the sunlight. Each note brings some light. So I'm going to play with that idea. So this time I noticed that I was playing around with speeding up and slowing down. That wasn't part of the intent of the exercise, but because I'm engaging with creative ideas, I don't know what it would be like for the notes to wake up light around me. So something happens in response to that, something creative, because it has to be creative. One last thing, let's play around with the idea of groove. So I could do that by this kind of thing. That would be cool. That's way more engaged. It could even still sound like a simple scale, but I could have imagine It could become... See, I'm locking in with a groove that I have the idea of. And again, I'm engaged by what I'm doing. And that's likely to be much more helpful for my practice. I'm practicing more things than just going through the motions of moving my fingers. If you connect what you're doing to a desired outcome or to a creative process, then it tends to become more enjoyable, more engaging, it becomes more efficient, and also more effective. It becomes of higher quality. So have a play around with this and let me know in the comments what you applied this to. What was the action or activity? What was your strategy? What did you play around with? And what did you find as a result? I'll be very interested to hear. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, please hit the like button. If you would like to see more like this, then subscribe. If you would know anyone who would benefit from this information, please share the video with them. Let me know if you have any questions or requests. You can let me know in the comments. And just in case you're not quite as inspired as you possibly could be, then let's end with an inspiring video of me walking around in a park with some motivational music behind me.